What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Ghost. I'm coming to you from inside my truck. I'm here in Chandler getting unloaded here at Budweiser. Then I gotta grab a load of eggs going back to SoCal. So that's, my game plan for the trucking. But I'm dropping this video today to speak on auctions. I'm buying trucks from the auction. It's been a minute since I bought a truck from the auction. I would say probably like a year, not even a year. The last truck I bought was that white one, my 13 Cascadia. But you gotta understand how auctions work. There's so many different ways of getting into the auction. People ask me, well, how much money should you bring? Blah, blah, blah. The best advice I can tell you, is this. I never buy trucks from the auction between January and June of the year. Like the first 6 months of the year, I don't ever buy trucks from the auction. Why don't I do that? Because it's tax season. It's tax season, and they raise the prices up because they know that, okay, it's tax time. It works the same way with cars. They know it's tax time, and they know that they're going to tax that ass at the beginning of the year for trucks at the auction. So the best time for me, and this is my opinion, that I buy trucks is in the winter time. Because that's when, they're trying to push out everything and everything's cheap. Nobody's really buying trucks like that during that time. This is just from what I've noticed and the research I've done, because I've been doing this, like the whole auction stuff, for years. So this is just the stuff that I've realized and I've researched and I've seen for myself. When you go to the auction, depending on the type of auction you go to, whether it's private or whether it's a dealer auction, I know dealer auctions, they give you a floor credit plan. Like basically it's financing. So they'll give you a floor credit to where we'll say they'll give you $100,000 worth of floor credit. So what it is you'll buy the truck. Depending on the type of plan that you get, you have between 30 and 90 days to pay that amount off. This is the dealer side of it. So if they give me $100,000 in credit, how it works is you have the first 30 days, like if they give you up to the first 30 days to have half the money. Then they break up, so you have 30 days to pay 50 grand back to them. So then after 30 days, say if it's a 90-day plan, you have 90 days to pay the remaining 50 grand, if that makes sense. So then, that way it gives you time to sell your trucks and sell your cars and sell everything else. That's from what I know and from what I've experienced, that's how floor credits work. So what certain people do is they'll buy it from the auction, put it on floor credit, then they'll get some outside financing to finance it before, the little time limit is up. So then that basically takes care of that. Or you can go to the auction with some cash. You can pay 20 grand cash, 30 grand cash, 10 grand cash. The best way the best advice I can give you when it comes to buying from the auction, like specifically buying from the auction, is do your research. Research how much trucks are going for at the auction. It might even take you a whole year of just researching and looking at the patterns and trying to figure out, okay, how much your truck's going for during this date and time. So, you just do your research. Do the research, and just follow the numbers and follow the pattern. I guess it's like an algorithm. Follow that, and that'll basically be the easiest way to get into it. And that way you can get the most bang for your buck. So, we'll say a Freightliner at the auction right now might be going for 20 grand. But we'll say in the wintertime it might be going for 10. You just gotta follow the patterns and look at the paths. Look at how much trucks are going for at the beginning of the year and at the end of the year. Or in quarter one, how much your trucks are going for versus quarter two, versus quarter three, versus quarter four. And then that'll tell you when's the best time to actually buy from the auction. You just gotta pay attention to the waves. I know when the pandemic and all that hit, they had closed all the auctions. they closed auctions, they closed everything. So I know a lot of people lost their trucks, a lot of people have lost their cars. So there's trucks going for little or nothing now, cars going for little or nothing. Why? Because we're in a pandemic, or we were in a pandemic, whatever you want to call it. So when it comes to buying from the auction, like I tell everybody, just do your research. Even if it takes you a whole year of researching, hey, it'll save you some money in the long run. When it comes to warranties and all that, I mean, you can get warranties. Me, I'm not a warranty type of guy. Like I said before in my other video, it's not something that I really like to. I don't like warranties. I tell everybody, anybody that's actually talks to me on the phone when it comes to how I run and how I operate, I'm not like everybody else. I don't listen and I don't do the same things and follow the same patterns and paths of everybody else. I kind of do my own thing out here, and I run my business my own way. So, you know, it might not be right, might not be wrong, but it works for me. So that's my biggest thing, is I do things that work for me. I don't do things that everybody else is doing. So, and that's just me. That's just how I move. That's how I operate, and I've always been that way. I've always walked to the beat of my own drum. That's why I like auction and private sellers. I don't really like dealerships because I know all the games that they play. Same with car dealerships. I don't like car dealerships because I know all the games that they play. And for me, auctions are just where they're at because, like I said, I have a really good mechanic. I have really good mechanics, and they take care of me and they keep it a buck with me. So if something's some BS, you know, they'll keep it real with me and let me know, like, hey, this is BS. Hold on.
And one of your pallets kind of fell over. I'm gonna need your help restacking.
All right. Okay. Damn, that man didn't drop my pallet inside the trailer, so I got to get out and go fix it. But that's my advice. That's my opinion on auctions. Like I said before, if you guys decide to deal with the auction, just do your research on it. There's plenty of auctions. I like Ritchie Brothers. There's a couple dealer auctions that I like too. But like Mayhem, that's a really good dealer auction. And just do your research. Do your research, and I mean, you'll go a long way if you want to go the auction route. Just know that you better have a good mechanic, and you better be willing to break that wallet open, because I know people talk about, oh, well, I bought a 06 this and I bought a 06 that. I bought older trucks from the auction and I didn't spend this much. Well, guess what? I live in Cali. We got emissions. So you got to if you live in Cali, you got to get a truck with emissions on it. The whole emissions talk, that's a whole nother topic, a whole nother story in itself. So like I said before, just do your research. Depending on where you live at and how you want to run, if you want to go to Cali, you got to put that into consideration too, So that's the best advice I can give y'all. Now I got to go help this dude stack this pallet back up that he didn't drop. You better not try to pin this on me, because that was his fault, because that shit was all batted down. So like I said before, love, peace, prosperity, and I'll catch y'all in the next video. Deuces.